What?
The cat's paw dagger.
What is that?
Dagger that was used to kill the Night King.
Okay.
So the lesson taken from the cat's paw dagger is always preserve evidence, even at your own peril.
What?
Welcome to The Defense Never Rests with Morgan and Akins, your monthly dose of uncommon sense about all things legal and some that are not.
Hey everybody, welcome back to The Defense Never Rests. I'm your host, Patricia Baxter, and joining me today is our normal crew, Wendy, Oliver, and Nate. Say hey, guys.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
So today we're going to do something slightly different. We're going to Game of Thrones this podcast. This podcast is all about Game of Thrones. What litigation lessons can we learn from 8 seasons or 10 years of Game of Thrones? But before I do that, this is our 4th episode. I've never really introduced these guys officially besides their name and say hi. But I don't want to do it the normal, boring, so-and-so's been a super lawyer for 4 years. We're going to do intros of these guys, Game of Thrones style. And if you are a fan of Game of Thrones, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Every time somebody walks in to meet Khaleesi, there is a laundry list of her titles that goes through. If I can air it, I will. But for today, we're going to do an intro for these guys, Game of Thrones, and I'm going to get right into it. And we're going to start with Wendy. Now, what I did for this is these guys don't know what their intros are. I asked their significant others to write up something, and then we gave it to the staff, and the staff put their input in. So this is the first time that these guys are hearing their Game of Thrones intros.
Cannot wait.
All right, so for Wendy of House Smith, Queen of Willow Grove, Delco, and Philly, Protector of the Courtroom, Lady Regent of Kim Dynasty, Defender of the Trains of Southeastern Pennsylvania, and Warrior for the House of Dignity.
Whoa.
Oh.
What do you think of that?
Grand.
I like it.
Very cool. Good job, guys. All right, so next one, my intro for Oliver. This should be interesting. All right, Oliver Raymond Brooks, third of his name, Lord of the Grumpkins. Meister of the Higher Mysteries and Arbitrary Knowledge, Destroyer of Stones, Protector of Machine Makers and Products, and Jack of all trades, Master of none.
Oh,
Wow.
that's hard. What is the Destroyer of Stones?
You're breaking balls all the time.
Oh.
Come on, you didn't pick up on that?
Oh, that one right over my head.
All right, well,
It's a family program. We didn't think that way.
yeah, but Grumpkins,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of true, right?
That sounds like something Nate would have made.
I didn't write these.
Yeah, this was your paralegals that
probably had a
worked.
little bit of say in it, I would guess.
No, he didn't see, none of these guys saw
I'm
it.
not looking at this. I don't.
And you know what? I didn't edit any of them. This is all the original from significant others and staff. All right. So Nathan Bohlander, Hand of the Queen, L of House Sunshine, Head of the House of Words, First Son of Robert, Prince of Sass,
Whoa.
Protector of Nipa and Master of Drones,
Okay.
Father of Wolves.
Ooh, snaps.
Yeah, I think Elle wrote most of that.
Prince of Sass.
Yeah,
That's what you go by on the weekends too.
I think that's what you're known for here, right? Being
Yeah,
sassy.
That's basically it. Yeah, that's the beginning of the list. Yeah.
All right. Well,
But
so
Is that an L or a paralegal?
I don't know. I didn't see who contributed either part.
I don't remember. I think that was paralegal.
Okay.
So that says a lot about what people think of you here. So I love Wendy's though. Protector of the Courtroom. Damn right.
That's a definite Brian.
Yeah, I think so.
I saw it.
Yeah, Brian, you said, had a lot of fun with it, right?
Oh, he made edits and then re-edits until he finally wanted to rewrite it perfect for you.
Well, he did a great job. So with that, these guys are full of personality and they are awesome lawyers. And I hope that Game of Thrones style intro says a little bit of that. All right, so moving on, most everyone in this office are Game of Thrones fans. We had a Game of Thrones death pool. I don't even know who won, but
won.
yeah, in the office where you got points for who died or who turned into a White Walker or who stayed alive. So we thought it'd be fun to take our knowledge of Game of Thrones and distill it to some litigation lessons. So I'm going to throw it out to you guys. I asked everyone to come up with 1 or 2, and I'll start with Nate since you're probably the second biggest Game of Thrones fan here.
Okay. The first thing I thought of was contracts always matter. And we didn't find this out until, I think, season 7, but this happened well before the start of season 1. Ned Stark accepted the offer of his sister Lyanna Stark to protect Aegon Targaryen, who was Jon Snow. And on her deathbed, I think she had a child out of wedlock with Rhaegar Targaryen, if I'm right. And this war was going on, and Ned Stark was visiting his sister Lyanna, and she said, promise me you'll protect him. And Ned Stark accepted her offer. That kicked off a lot of things that happened in the Seven Realms. And this baby became Jon Snow. He brought Jon Snow back to Winterfell. Catelyn Stark was super pissed. That fractured their relationship. It mattered in the relationship with the rest of the Starks. And of course, later on, Jon Snow learns his real identity. That creates a rift between he and Khaleesi, and may have led to her death. So from start, well before the first season to the end episode of the last season, the contract kind of controlled everything. And we find out in a lot of our cases that look to the contracts first as the responsibilities of the parties.
And if Ned had not honored that contract, there would be no Game of Thrones.
There would be nothing. Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So contracts always matter.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it. All right, Oliver, what about you?
I know like 1% of what you just said.
For once, it's the first time it's happened.
I guess the lesson I could pull out is don't put too much stock in any one asset of your case. Don't make your entire product's case hinge on one expert. Don't make your entire liability defense hinge on one witness. Just like the Khaleesi sort of had this precipitous downfall after one of her dragons is killed by, one White Walker throwing one sharp piece of ice.
I hear some sarcasm in there.
And secondly, whatever you put out there can be turned against you. Sun Tzu says a pound of plunder is worth 3 carried into battle. So if you're going to lay something out before the court, be sure that they can't take it and flip it on you.
Good lesson.
All right, I like it. All right, Wendy, what about you? What do you have?
Know your jurisdiction. And I think that's seen through all the houses that you've gone through the 8 seasons of Game of Thrones. What the House of Tyrell does is not the same as the House of Lannister or the House of Stark or the people in the North. And I think, when you think about all the big epic moments of Game of Thrones, the Red Wedding, the Battle of the Bastards, those are things that really stick out in your mind for television and entertainment purposes. But when you think about, like with jury trials and things, you think about the big jury trials, the big verdicts, but what happened leading up to it? And I think what goes on in each jurisdiction, all those small negotiations that you see behind the scenes in each house, is really what carries your case.
Yeah, where did the Red Wedding happen? What house was that? I'm totally blanking right now.
It was the Bolton wedding, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, it was the Stark wedding.
Well, it was the Stark wedding, but I know the guy comes in at the end to marry.
Well, I was just gonna say that's probably Philadelphia. Sometimes you get crucified and you get killed, and it's all about your venue. If that had been in Winterfell, that probably wouldn't have happened. So that's a good point. I like it.
Yep.
All right, so I have 2. I'll just go one right now, and then we can go around the table again. But mine is mediation is probably the most effective way to end your case. It issues in peace and prosperity. Game of Thrones ended in a mediation with the council, everyone sitting around the last episode. Spoiler alert, by the way, if you haven't watched it, please don't listen to this episode. But they were all sitting around in a council and deciding the fate of all of the houses. And nobody was happy. Jon Snow got exiled. Bran was king. I mean, Bran, that's the one biggest part I thought was disappointing was Bran. But Bran was king, and then Tyrion was handed the king. Nobody liked that outcome. The fans weren't happy. A lot of the fans weren't happy, and that's kind of the sign of a successful mediation, as they say. So definitely, if you have cases, consider mediation. If they had mediated early, maybe in season 1, there wouldn't have been a season 8. Who knows? But that's my tip for Game of Thrones. All right. So anybody else have any other ones you want to throw it at?
I have one more, alliances. That's the other thing that I thought about when I was going through, my tips, the alliances that you make, especially when there are other defendants, other parties in your case, sometimes that can be a very beneficial outcome for you.
And sometimes they change just as fast as they change.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I would say the model of ARIA, which is the long game, and educating yourself in the particular field that you need to learn in order to get what you want done. There was like a really long time in that show where she was off learning from the what are they called, the no-face men or whatever, and frankly that was really dull.
But it paid off.
But there would be no explanation as to how she became so vicious, in the end.
So badass.
I would tell you that one moment when she comes down and kills the Night King, my husband and I were jumping off the couch, like screaming, "Oh my God, I can't believe that just happened." So that's pretty cool. My last one is sometimes you have to fight the good fight. There is no negotiating with the Night King. I mean, he's coming for you, he's coming for war, and there's sometimes that those battles need to be had in litigation. You need to fight them and then get through them and then maybe consider resolution. But we often try to talk resolution because it's cheaper, and I think a kind of a bird in hand approach that it's sometimes better, but you just can't avoid it, the fight sometimes. So those are mine. What, do you have any more?
Just one more.
Okay.
The cat's paw dagger.
What?
The cat's paw dagger.
What is that?
Dagger that was used to kill the Night King.
Okay.
So the lesson taken from the cat's paw dagger is always preserve evidence, even at your own peril.
What?
Just
All right, go ahead. Let's hear it.
So the dagger that was used on the assassination attempt of Bran in season 1.
Which started the whole thing.
Again, started the whole thing. It was Littlefinger's dagger. Catelyn Stark found out it was Littlefinger's, brought it back to him. He said, no, Tyrion stole that from me. She said, well, you keep it. So from season 1 or 2 to season 7, Littlefinger had this dagger that he had tried to kill Bran Stark with, or he had an assassin try to kill Bran Stark. He kept it. He gives it back to Bran as a sign of goodwill when he goes back to Winterfell. Bran gives it to Arya. Arya kills Littlefinger with it. So, Littlefinger had 5 years or whatever it was, 3 years to destroy this dagger that he had used clandestinely in a dangerous manner, but didn't. He kept it, and he tried to weasel his way back in and ended up being his downfall. So,
I thought the dagger was what Jon Snow gave her as a little child, but I'm not saying that I'm the be-all fan.
So in prepping for this, I looked things up.
Oh.
I am remembering this, but I have little cheat sheets. So I have like the history of the dagger.
yeah.
So I think that's where it comes from. Maybe you're right, but the long
Next
and short
week
of
on
it,
Talking Dead.
but the long and short of it is he used the dagger to try to kill Bran, gives it back to him, and he's killed with it by Arya. So
All right, well, there you go.
preserving evidence sometimes turns out poorly, but you got to do it.
Okay. Well, I like it. Anybody have any other tips, pointers before we wrap it up? No? All right, that's it. Well, so before we go, I just wanted to say we have in front of us a Game of Thrones bottle of wine, and they are probably not made anymore, but I had this. So I had a Game of Thrones and watching party for the last episode, and we ordered a case, and we have 3 left. And I brought one in as a giveaway because I want you guys to vote on the best intro between Wendy, Oliver, and Nate, who has the best one. Whoever wins, they're going to get to either take the bottle. So if Wendy wins the vote, she's going to take the bottle, or we're going to give a donation to her favorite charity. So if you guys like the episode, like the intros, comment in the comments who you think had the best intro, and we'll do a little giveaway. But I appreciate you guys coming here. We just do a little bit of some fun things with pop culture. If you have any ideas on what we can relate between pop culture and the legal profession, love to hear it. But great job. Thanks, guys. And until next time on The Defense Never Rest.
See you.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.